We got a lot of turmoil. We had a lot of destroyed 401ks. We had a lot of small businesses importing goods from China that are on the brink or have gone out of business, and all to just go back to where we were. And in fact, it's not even where we were, John. It's still a 30% tariff, which is a tax that will be passed through to the consumers. I represent Manhattan's historic Chinatown, and the small businesses there operate on very, very small margins. They are not big box department stores that can weather several months of higher prices. Some of them have gone out of business, and that others have suffered from the volatility of the stock market, and it's all for nothing. We are back where we were before all of this chaos, all of this turmoil, and it is just a reflection that there's no plan here, there's no objective, nothing is actually going to come from this other than continued higher prices and uncertainty, instability, and a pullback in our economy.
30% better than 145%, though, in your mind?
Well, yes, of course, if 145% is completely untenable. But again, this is all just a charade. There's no objective to this. You are not going to go back to the 1950s with our economy. Our economy is going to move forward. There's going to be technological improvements. We're not going to go back to dirty coal as the solution to everything. And the sooner we realize that what we need to do with our economy is right-size it and adjust the jobs to the new technology that's out there, the better off we're going to be. We're never going to onshore all of the old manufacturing. And even if we do, that's going to take years. So the whole ostensible purpose of this makes no sense at all because it's just impractical. And instead, it's just Donald Trump's ego and wanting to fight with Xi Jinping and show that he's bigger until he realizes he got his bluff called and he has nowhere to go. And so then he just caves and goes back.
Congressman, apparently the U.S. and Qatar are working out the final details of a gift, a big gift, a giant luxury 747 aircraft that President Trump is reportedly going to accept, and the military is going to convert into being able to use as Air Force One, and then it may end up at the Trump Presidential Library after he leaves office. How do you feel about this gift?
That it is brazen corruption. A violation of the Constitution, the Foreign Emoluments Clause. It is a gift from a foreign government. That is expressly not permitted under the Constitution. And given that Donald Trump, as we know, is purely transactional, this gift, which ultimately will go to him, it's not for the United States, of course, curries favor with him. And perhaps there is not a specific official act that he has taken in return for that payment, such that our current state of public corruption law would not apply. And of course, he's immune because the Supreme Court has given him criminal immunity. But this is just the latest reflection of an egregious, corrupt presidency that is using the office of the presidency for his personal gain. This is the latest one, $400 million, $2 billion crypto deal where Donald Trump himself is prepped to make tens or hundreds of millions of dollars from it, from a foreign country-backed deal. This is beyond anything that we've ever seen. And the fact that, from my vantage point, John, as a former 10-year DOJ career prosecutor, to see that the Attorney General has signed off on this on one of the most pathetic and weak legal analyses I've ever seen. Just underscores how far down the Department of Justice has fallen, and how much in trouble we are that Donald Trump has really just remade our government for his own personal interest.
Can we put that Truth Social post back up on the screen here so I can read it to the congressman in case he hasn't seen it yet? Because the president seems to be responding to the type of criticism that you're making here. He says, so the fact that the Defense Department is getting a gift free of charge, and gift free of charge is all capitalized, of a 747 aircraft to replace the 40-year-old Air Force One temporarily in a very public and transparent transaction so bothers the crooked Democrats that they insist we pay top dollar for the plane. Anybody can do that. The Dems are world-class losers. MAGA. So that's what the president says. Your response?
It's laughable at this point. First of all, temporarily is a key word there, because ultimately it will go to Donald Trump. But this is not Democrats opposing what's a great deal. This is just people following the Constitution. There is a reason that it says in the Constitution that no president can accept a gift from a foreign government, because we want to be sure that the president of the United States is always acting in the sole interest of the United States and not on behalf of a foreign country. Well, if Qatar is giving him a $400 million gift now, who knows what else they're going to give him? And there's no question that his view of Qatar and the Middle East, with UAE now backing his own crypto deal, that is shaded. And we're left here to wonder, well, is he doing this because he got $400 million Golden Palace, or is he doing this because it's in the best interest of the United States? That's the point of the Foreign Emoluments Clause, is to ensure that there's no question. And so he can try to explain it away as some deal. Oh, I got such a great deal, it's a gift, I don't have to pay for it. But the United States government is not a real estate company. We are much, much bigger than that, much more important than that, and many more other considerations, including geopolitical, that Donald Trump just doesn't understand and is really jeopardizing our legitimacy worldwide, and is clearly using this office for pure corruption.
Congressman Dan Goldman from New York, appreciate your time this morning. Thank you. Kate?
Equipment issues force a new ground stop for inbound flights Sunday at Newark Airport. What the transportation